I was scrolling through Facebook on a Monday morning looking for a recipe I'd saved when I saw the photos, dozens of them, posted by my daughter-in-law Jessica just 2 hours earlier, bright, colorful images of my granddaughter Emma's 7th birthday party with balloons and a princess cake and at least 20 children running around Jessica and Kevin's backyard. And as I scrolled through picture after picture, seeing neighbors, Jessica's friends, her family, even people I didn't recognize, I realized with growing horror that I wasn't in a single photo because I hadn't been there, because I hadn't been invited, because nobody had told me there was even going to be a party. My hands started shaking as I checked the date. The party had been yesterday, Sunday afternoon, Emma's actual birthday. And I sat there in my quiet house staring at images of my only grandchild's birthday celebration that I'd been deliberately excluded from, while Jessica's caption read, "Best day ever, celebrating our beautiful girl. So grateful for everyone who came to make Emma's day special." I felt humiliation burn through me as I imagined the other guests noticing my absence, wondered what Jessica had told them about why Emma's grandmother wasn't there. And I realized that this wasn't an accidental oversight. This was intentional, calculated exclusion, and I needed to understand why. My name is Ann Williams, and I'm 72 years old. I live in a small brick house on Magnolia Street in Charleston, South Carolina, where I raised my 2 children and where I thought I had a place in my grandchildren's lives. My son Kevin is 41 years old, married to Jessica for 9 years, and they have one daughter, Emma, who just turned 7. Emma is the light of my life, a sweet, creative child who loves art and stories and spending time with me, or at least she used to spend time with me. Over the past 6 months, I'd noticed that visits were becoming less frequent. Jessica always had a reason. Emma had too much homework, they had other plans, Jessica wasn't feeling well. I tried to be understanding, tried not to push, tried to respect their family time. But this, being excluded from Emma's birthday party entirely, this was different. This was deliberate. If you've ever discovered that you've been intentionally excluded from a major family event, that people you love celebrate it without you while posting it publicly for the world to see, you know the particular humiliation and hurt I felt. It's not just about missing the party. It's about what the exclusion says about your place in the family. I called my son Kevin immediately. He answered on the 3rd ring, sounding distracted. "Hey, Mom, what's up?" "Kevin, I just saw Jessica's Facebook post about Emma's birthday party." There was a pause. "Oh, yeah, the party was yesterday." "I wasn't invited." Another pause, longer this time. "Mom, Jessica handled the invitations. I didn't really..." "You didn't notice that your mother wasn't invited to your daughter's birthday party?" "It was kind of last minute. Jessica put it together quickly and..." "Kevin, there were at least 20 people there. It wasn't that last minute. And even if it was, why wouldn't you think to include me?" "Mom, I don't want to get in the middle of this. If you have issues with Jessica, you need to talk to her." "Issues? I don't have issues with Jessica. I have a question about why I was excluded from my granddaughter's birthday party." "Look, I have to go. I'm at work. We'll talk later." He hung up before I could respond. I sat staring at my phone, feeling dismissed and hurt. My son had just brushed off my concern, had refused to take any responsibility for the fact that his mother had been excluded from his daughter's birthday. I called my younger son Marcus in Atlanta. When I told him what had happened, he was immediately sympathetic. "Mama, that's awful. Did Kevin give you any explanation?" "He said it was last minute and that I should talk to Jessica if I have issues. But Marcus, this wasn't last minute." Jessica posted photos of elaborate decorations, a custom cake, party favors. She planned this for weeks. So why didn't she invite you? That's what I need to find out. I decided to reach out to Jessica directly, but carefully. I didn't want to come across as attacking or accusatory. I just wanted to understand. I sent her a text. "Jessica, I saw the photos from Emma's party. It looked wonderful. I was surprised I didn't receive an invitation. Was there some kind of mix-up?" She responded 3 hours later. "The party was for Emma's school friends and our close family. We kept it small." 20 people wasn't small. And close family apparently included Jessica's parents, her sister, her aunt and uncle, even her cousin who lived 2 hours away. But not me. I texted back, I understand. I would have loved to celebrate Emma's birthday with her. Maybe I can take her out for a special grandmother-granddaughter day this weekend. Jessica's response came quickly this time. This weekend doesn't work. We have plans. I'll check the calendar and let you know when we have an opening. An opening? Like I was trying to schedule an appointment with a dentist rather than spend time with my granddaughter. Over the next few days, I tried to understand what had happened to cause this rift. I reviewed every interaction I'd had with Jessica over the past year, looking for something I might have done to offend her. I'd always tried to be a supportive mother-in-law. I didn't criticize her parenting. I didn't overstep boundaries. I offered to help when asked, but didn't force myself into their lives. The only thing I could think of was a conversation we'd had about 3 months ago. Jessica had been complaining about how expensive childcare was, and I'd offered to watch Emma 1 or 2 afternoons a week to help out. Jessica had said no, that they had it covered, that she didn't want to burden me. I'd assured her it wouldn't be a burden, that I'd love to spend more time with Emma. But Jessica had been firm. They didn't need help. Had I pushed too hard? Had I made her feel like I was implying she couldn't handle things on her own? I decided to talk to Emma directly. I called Kevin's house on a Wednesday afternoon, a time when I knew Emma would be home from school, but Jessica would still be at work. Kevin answered, "Mom, what's going on?" I was hoping to talk to Emma, just to wish her a happy birthday properly since I didn't get to see her at her party. She's doing homework right now. It'll just take a minute. Kevin sighed. Fine, let me get her. Emma came on the line, her voice cautious. "Hi, Grandma." "Hi, sweetheart. Happy birthday." "I'm sorry I missed your party." "It's okay." "Did you have fun?" "Yeah, it was really fun." "I'd love to take you out to celebrate, just the two of us. Maybe we could go get ice cream or go to that art store you love." "I have to ask Mommy." "Of course. But Emma, can I ask you something? Did you know I wasn't invited to your party?" There was a long pause. "Mommy said you were busy." "Busy? Emma, I'm never too busy for you. If I'd known about your party, I would have been there." "Oh." Her voice got very small. "Mommy said you had important things to do and couldn't come." Jessica had lied to Emma. She told Emma that I'd been invited but was too busy to attend. "Emma, sweetheart, I didn't know about the party." "I would have loved to be there." "I have to go, Grandma. Daddy looks mad." She hung up quickly, and I realized Kevin had been listening to the conversation. Within minutes, my phone rang. It was Kevin, and he was angry. "Mom, you can't do that. You can't question Emma about the party or try to make her feel bad." "I wasn't trying to make her feel bad. I was trying to understand why I was excluded." "Jessica made a decision about the party. You need to respect that." "Kevin, Jessica told Emma I was too busy to come. She lied to your daughter about why I wasn't there." "Maybe she was trying to spare Emma's feelings." "By teaching her that it's okay to lie?" "By making me look like I didn't care enough to attend my own granddaughter's birthday?" "Mom, you're making this a bigger deal than it needs to be." "Am I? Because from where I'm standing, I've been deliberately excluded from my granddaughter's life, and when I try to understand why, I'm told I'm overreacting." "I need to go. Jessica just got home, and I don't want her upset." "What about me being upset? Does that matter?" He hung up. I felt dismissed, minimized, and increasingly isolated from my own family. I needed to understand what was really happening, so I did something I'd never done before. I reached out to other people who'd been at the party. I called Martha Davis, a neighbor who lived on the same street as Kevin and Jessica. Martha and I had been friendly for years, and I'd seen her in several of the party photos. "Martha, hi. It's Ann Williams, Kevin's mother." "Ann, how are you?" "I'm fine. I was calling to ask you about Emma's birthday party on Sunday. I saw you were there." "Oh, yes, it was lovely. Jessica did such a beautiful job with the decorations." "Did anyone mention why I wasn't there?" There was an uncomfortable pause. "Well, Jessica said something about you and her having some tension, and that she thought it would be better if the party was just for people who were close to Emma right now." Tension? Martha, I don't have tension with Jessica. Did she say what this tension was about? She didn't go into details. Just said that there had been some disagreements about Emma's upbringing and that she needed to protect Emma from conflict. Disagreements about Emma's upbringing? Protect Emma from conflict? What was Jessica talking about? Martha, I've never disagreed with Jessica about how she's raising Emma. I don't know where this is coming from. Oh, Martha sounded uncomfortable now. Well, maybe there's been a misunderstanding. After hanging up with Martha, I called another person who'd been at the party, Jessica's cousin Sarah, who I'd met several times at family events. Sarah, this is Ann Williams, Kevin's mother. I was hoping to talk to you about something. Sure, Ann, what's up? I saw you were at Emma's birthday party. Can I ask what Jessica told people about why I wasn't there? Sarah hesitated. Ann, I don't want to get in the middle of family drama. I'm not trying to create drama. I'm trying to understand, please. Okay, Jessica said that you'd been really critical of her parenting lately, that you kept trying to take over, telling her she was doing things wrong. She said she needed some space from the negativity. Critical? Taking over? None of this was true. Sarah, I've never criticized Jessica's parenting. I've never tried to take over. Where is this coming from? I don't know, Ann. I'm just telling you what Jessica said. After talking to several more people who'd been at the party, a pattern emerged. Jessica had been telling people that I was critical, controlling, undermining her parenting, causing conflict. She'd painted a picture of an overbearing mother-in-law who needed to be kept at a distance. None of it was true, but Jessica had been systematically building this narrative for months, and people believed her. I needed to confront this directly, but I needed to be strategic. If I just confronted Jessica emotionally, she'd paint me as exactly what she'd been claiming: dramatic, difficult, causing conflict. I needed evidence. I needed to understand what Jessica's actual goal was. So I started documenting everything. I saved all my text messages with Jessica, showing that I'd been respectful and appropriate. I wrote down every time I'd offered to help and been refused. I documented the lies Jessica had told to Emma, to party guests, to the family. I also started paying attention to Jessica's social media. What I discovered was illuminating. Jessica posted constantly about being Emma's mother. Photo after photo of just the two of them, with captions like, "My whole world," "Just me and my girl," "The bond between mother and daughter is everything." Kevin was rarely in the photos. Marcus and his family were never mentioned. And I had been systematically erased. Old photos that used to include me had been replaced with cropped versions that cut me out. Jessica was creating a narrative where Emma's world consisted only of Jessica and Jessica's family. Everyone else was peripheral or unwelcome. I showed this pattern to Marcus when he came to visit the following weekend. "Mama, this is really concerning. Jessica is isolating Emma from your side of the family." But why? What does she gain from this? Control. Jessica wants to be the center of Emma's universe. Anyone who might have influence over Emma, especially you, since grandmothers often have close relationships with granddaughters, is a threat to that control. What do I do? You need to talk to Kevin, not emotionally, but factually. Show him the evidence. Show him what Jessica's been doing. Make him see that this isn't about you being difficult. It's about Jessica systematically excluding you. I invited Kevin to lunch, just the two of us. He agreed, though he seemed wary. At the restaurant, I showed him everything I documented. The text messages showing I'd been respectful, the accounts from party guests about what Jessica had told them, the pattern of exclusion on social media. "Kevin, your wife has been telling people I'm critical and controlling. She's been systematically excluding me from Emma's life while lying about the reasons. This isn't okay." Kevin looked uncomfortable. "Mom, Jessica's been stressed. Being a mom is hard, and she's just trying to do what's best for Emma." How is lying about me what's best for Emma? How is excluding Emma's grandmother from her life what's best for her? Maybe Jessica feels like you're judgmental. Maybe she's picking up on something you don't realize you're doing. Kevin, I have text messages showing every interaction I've had with Jessica for the past 6 months. Can you show me one example of me being critical or controlling? He couldn't. This isn't about what I've done, I continued. This is about Jessica wanting complete control over Emma, and she's using lies about me to justify keeping me away. I don't know what you want me to do. I want you to stand up for me. I want you to tell Jessica that excluding your mother from your daughter's life isn't acceptable. I want you to be honest with Emma about the fact that I wasn't too busy to attend her party. I wasn't invited. That would just cause a fight. And what we're doing now isn't causing a fight? Kevin, your wife is destroying my relationship with my granddaughter, and you're letting it happen because you don't want conflict. But this is conflict. You're just choosing Jessica's side. She's my wife, and I'm your mother, and Emma is my granddaughter. Don't I matter at all? Kevin looked down at his plate. I'll talk to Jessica. When? Soon, I promise. But I could tell from his tone that soon would never come. Kevin wasn't going to confront Jessica. He was going to continue being passive while Jessica continued to exclude me. If my son wouldn't advocate for me, I'd have to advocate for myself. I wrote Jessica a letter. Not an angry letter, but a clear, direct one. Jessica, I'm writing because I need to address what's been happening over the past several months. I was excluded from Emma's 7th birthday party. When I asked why, I was told it was last minute and small, but I've since learned it was planned weeks in advance with over 20 guests, including your extended family. I've also learned that you've been telling people I'm critical of your parenting and that you need space from my negativity. Jessica, I've never criticized your parenting. I have documentation of every interaction we've had, and I've been nothing but respectful and supportive. You told Emma I was too busy to attend her party. That was a lie. I was never invited. I don't know why you've decided to exclude me from Emma's life, but I'm asking you directly, what is the real reason? If I've done something to offend you, I deserve to know what it is. If this is about control, I need you to understand that Emma deserves to have a relationship with her grandmother. I'm asking for a face-to-face conversation where we can address this honestly. Anne. I sent the letter by email and by mail. Jessica couldn't claim she didn't receive it. 3 days later, I got a response. Not from Jessica, but from Kevin. Mom, you need to stop. Jessica is very upset by your letter. She feels attacked and accused of things she hasn't done. I'm asking you to give us some space while we figure this out. Figure what out, Kevin? I asked for a conversation. How is that attacking anyone? You're making accusations. You're demanding explanations. Jessica doesn't owe you anything. She owes me the truth, and so do you. Kevin, Emma is my granddaughter. I have a right to be part of her life. You have the right we choose to give you. Emma is our daughter, and we get to decide who's in her life. His words hit me like a slap. So you're saying you're cutting me out of Emma's life? I'm saying we need space. Maybe in a few months, when things calm down, we can revisit this. Kevin, please, don't do this. I have to go, Mom. Take care. He hung up. I sat in my living room, feeling more alone than I'd felt since Thomas died. My son was choosing his wife over his mother. My granddaughter was being kept from me. And I was being painted as the villain in a story I didn't even recognize. But I wasn't giving up. I reached out to my lawyer, Dorothy Chin, who'd helped me with estate planning. I explained the situation and asked if I had any legal recourse. Mrs. Williams, South Carolina does have grandparent visitation laws, but they're limited. You'd have to prove that you have a significant relationship with Emma and that being denied access is harmful to her well-being. I had a significant relationship with her until 6 months ago when Jessica started restricting access. That could work in your favor, but pursuing legal action against your son and daughter-in-law is going to permanently damage those relationships. Are you prepared for that? I thought about it carefully. I don't want to damage my relationship with Kevin, but Jessica has already damaged it by lying about me and excluding me. If I do nothing, I lose Emma entirely. If I fight, I at least have a chance. Then let's build your case. Over the next several weeks, Dorothy and I prepared documentation. We gathered evidence of my relationship with Emma, photos, videos, cards Emma had made me, documentation of all the time we'd spent together before Jessica started restricting access. We also documented the pattern of exclusion, the missed birthday party, the refused visits, the lies Jessica had told. Dorothy filed a petition for grandparent visitation. The court date was set for 6 weeks out. Kevin called me the day after he was served with the court papers. He was angrier than I'd ever heard him. "You're suing us? You're actually taking us to court?" "I'm asking the court to protect my relationship with Emma. Jessica has been excluding me without cause, and you've been allowing it. This is going to cost us money for lawyers." "Money we don't have." "Then maybe Jessica should have thought about that before she lied about me and excluded me from Emma's life. You're destroying this family." "No, Kevin, Jessica destroyed this family when she decided to use Emma as a weapon against me. I'm just refusing to be silent about it." The weeks leading up to the court date were tense. Kevin and Jessica hired a lawyer. I heard through mutual friends that Jessica was telling people I was unstable, that I was harassing them, that I was trying to take Emma away from them. More lies, more manipulation. But I had evidence. I had documentation, and I had the truth. The court hearing was on a Tuesday morning. Kevin and Jessica sat on one side of the courtroom with their lawyer. I sat on the other side with Dorothy. The judge, a woman named Judge Sarah Martinez, reviewed all the documentation both sides had submitted. Jessica's lawyer tried to paint me as interfering and overbearing. They claimed I'd been critical of Jessica's parenting with no evidence, that I'd been demanding and difficult with no evidence, and that Jessica had the right to decide who was in her daughter's life. Dorothy presented my evidence, the text messages showing I'd been respectful, the testimony from party guests about the lies Jessica had told, the documentation of my relationship with Emma, and Emma's own words via the phone conversation I'd recorded, legally since I'd been a party to the conversation, where she'd said Jessica told her I was too busy to come to the party. Judge Martinez listened carefully to everything. Then she asked to speak to Emma privately. A child advocate brought Emma into the judge's chambers. She was in there for about 20 minutes. When Judge Martinez returned, her expression was serious. "I've reviewed all the evidence and spoken with Emma. Here's what I've determined. Mrs. Ann Williams clearly had a significant, loving relationship with her granddaughter prior to approximately 6 months ago. The evidence shows regular contact, positive interactions, and a genuine bond. Around 6 months ago, that contact was restricted without clear justification. The reasons given, that Mrs. Williams was critical or difficult, are not supported by any evidence. The text messages and communications show a grandmother trying to maintain a relationship while being consistently rebuffed. Most concerning is the pattern of dishonesty. Jessica Williams told multiple people that Mrs. Williams had been critical and controlling. She told her daughter that her grandmother was too busy to attend her birthday party. These statements are demonstrably false. Emma told me in chambers that she misses her grandmother and doesn't understand why she can't see her anymore. I'm ordering a visitation schedule. Mrs. Williams will have Emma for 1 full day every other weekend, plus major holidays on a rotating basis. This order is not optional. It is legally mandated." Jessica started crying. "You can't do this. She's my daughter." "Miss Williams, you chose to exclude a loving grandmother from your daughter's life without justification. You lied to your daughter about why. The court is protecting Emma's right to maintain important family relationships. If you refuse to comply with this order, you could face contempt charges." After the hearing, I approached Kevin and Jessica outside the courtroom. I didn't want it to come to this. All I wanted was to be part of Emma's life. Jessica wouldn't look at me. Kevin's face was hard. "You've made your choice," Kevin said coldly. "We'll comply with the court order, but don't expect anything beyond that." "I don't," I said quietly, "but I hope someday you'll understand that I did this to protect my relationship with Emma, not to hurt you." The first court-ordered visitation was the following Saturday. Kevin dropped Emma off at my house at 9 a.m., his face expressionless. Emma ran to me and hugged me tight. "Grandma, I missed you so much." "I missed you too, sweetheart." We spent the day doing all of Emma's favorite things: painting, baking cookies, reading stories. She talked nonstop, as if she'd been storing up everything she wanted to tell me for months. "Grandma, why haven't I been able to see you?" I chose my words carefully. Sometimes grown-ups have disagreements, but the important thing is we're together now and we're going to keep spending time together. Mommy said you didn't want to see me anymore, but that wasn't true, was it? No, sweetheart, that wasn't true. I always want to see you. Why did Mommy say it then? I think Mommy was confused about some things. But it's okay now. Over the following months, I had Emma every other weekend as the court ordered. Each visit was precious. Emma thrived with the regular contact, and I watched her relax and open up in ways she hadn't been able to when she thought I didn't want to see her. Kevin remained cold and distant, but Jessica's behavior changed in an interesting way. About 3 months after the court order, Jessica reached out to me. Not with an apology, but with a request. "Anne, I need help. My mother is sick and I need to go visit her next weekend. Can you take Emma?" It wasn't my scheduled weekend, but I said yes. When Jessica dropped Emma off, she lingered at the door. "Thank you for doing this. Of course. Emma is always welcome here. I know you think I was wrong. About everything." I waited. Maybe I was protecting the wrong thing. I thought keeping Emma close to me meant keeping everyone else at a distance, but I see now that it hurt her. She talks about you all the time, about the things you do together. She's happier now. It wasn't a full apology, but it was acknowledgement. "Jessica, I never wanted to take Emma from you. I just wanted to be part of her life." "I know. I'm sorry it took a court order for me to see that." Over the next year, things slowly improved. Jessica stopped restricting contact beyond the court order. She started inviting me to some family events. She stopped telling lies about me. Kevin remained wary, but he gradually softened. He saw how happy Emma was with regular grandmother time, and he couldn't deny it was good for her. And Emma blossomed. She had the security of knowing all the adults in her life loved her, that she didn't have to choose, that relationships didn't have to be weapons. One afternoon, about 18 months after the court hearing, I was at Kevin and Jessica's house for Emma's 9th birthday party. This time, I'd been invited. Emma opened her gifts, and when she got to mine, an art set she'd been wanting, she ran over and hugged me. "Thank you, Grandma. This is perfect." Jessica was watching us. Later, as I was leaving, she walked me to my car. "Anne, I need to say something. I was wrong. About everything. I was insecure and controlling, and I tried to cut you out of Emma's life because I was afraid she loved you more than me. That was selfish and cruel, and I'm sorry." That was the apology I'd been waiting for. Thank you for saying that, Jessica. You would have been within your rights to give up, to just walk away. But you fought for Emma, and because you did, she has her grandmother. I'm grateful for that, even though I fought against it. Now, if you're listening to this story, if you're a grandparent who's been excluded from your grandchild's life without justification, who's been lied about or pushed aside, I need you to hear this. When someone uses a child to punish an adult, the child is always the one who gets hurt the most. True love for a child means putting their emotional well-being above ego, pride, and control. You have the right to advocate for yourself. You have the right to fight for your relationship with your grandchild. You have the right to expose lies and demand the truth. Here's what you should do if you find yourself in a similar situation. First, document everything. Save text messages, emails, any communication that shows you've been respectful and appropriate. Second, try to resolve it privately. Reach out calmly, ask for a conversation, try to understand what's really happening.
Third, if private resolution fails, don't be afraid to involve the legal system. Grandparent rights exist in most states for a reason, because children benefit from relationships with loving grandparents. Fourth, stay calm and factual. Don't let emotion drive your actions. Present evidence, not anger. And fifth, remember why you're fighting. It's not about winning against your adult child. It's about protecting your relationship with your grandchild. Will it damage relationships? Possibly. But those relationships are already damaged if someone is using lies and exclusion to control them. I fought for Emma. I stood up to lies, I documented the truth, and I used legal means to protect our relationship. Was it hard? Absolutely. Did it strain my relationship with Kevin? Yes. Would I do it again? Without hesitation, because Emma needed her grandmother, and I wasn't going to let lies and manipulation destroy that bond. Somewhere in Charleston, there's a 72-year-old grandmother who went to court to secure visitation with her granddaughter, who faced her son and daughter-in-law in a courtroom and presented the truth, who refused to stay silent when lies were being told about her, who protected a child's right to know her grandmother. You can do the same if you need to. Don't let manipulation win. Don't let lies go unchallenged. Don't sacrifice your relationship with your grandchild to keep a false peace. Stand up, speak truth, fight if necessary. Your grandchildren deserve to know you, and you deserve to be part of their lives. Stand strong. Protect what matters. Choose truth over silence. It's the only way to truly love.